So our next members, Amanda and Doug. What a strong
Give 'em a hand.
You got all fancy dressed.
Yeah, look, they're all dressed up. They look professional.
Well, we are professionals.
I am too. Look at me. I wore a Deadpool shirt for you.
I love it.
I think you ironed your T-shirt tonight. Amanda, so let's go ahead and get started. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you guys do and how you heard about lifestyles.
Oh, I've been a nurse for 14 years. My primary background has been adult and pediatric ICU. And after COVID, I was looking for a change. My husband is an engineer, so he's still working, and I decided to leave bedside nursing and went into the real estate because we had a really awesome friend that referred us.
Very cool.
So I had a friend at work.
What kind of engineer are you?
I'm a control systems engineer.
Oh, I don't even know what that means, but that sounds good.
It's the autopilot for the chemical plants.
Oh, that sounds good.
Bodie plot.
Street level or street level chemicals or? Never mind.
All of the above. So I was complaining to a friend about taxes and trying to find a way how to get out of it because I'm cheap. And he's like, I got the perfect thing for you. So he introduced me to lifestyles and the methodology, and I had done some rental properties previously that have tanked pretty badly. And he explained to me how I was doing it all wrong. And
That was all before me.
Oh, okay. Just rub that in there.
Important caveat.
Yes.
So a friend referred you. You joined. You did the 2-day with Dave Fisher.
We did the 2-day with Dave Fisher,
Okay.
yeah.
So he tells you about his friend wants to do this real estate thing. What did you think when you first heard about that, Amanda? Were you supportive, or you're like, is this real, or what was your attitude?
At first, I kind of was like, okay, sure, whatever you say, because I didn't really think it was going to ever, like, actually come to fruition. It was just like another, like, we're going to talk about it for, over-analysis paralysis.
Okay.
And then we came to the seminar, and it was like, oh, this is real. Okay, we're doing this.
So you didn't listen to anything he said, but when I said it was real.
Yeah.
pretty much.
Do you know what that is? That's called familiarity breeds contempt. Who understands that? In other words, because they're married, once you see a man naked, you don't believe anything he says. You have to hear it from somebody else who understands that. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. And you're never a prophet in your own town either.
Yeah.
There you go.
The company I always worked with, they would hire consultants as opposed to actually look to us that actually worked there for 20 years.
Yeah.
So, all right. So,
Is your friend here, though?
Yeah.
He is.
Oh.
Tony
Right here,
Ringer.
Tony Ringer.
I know him.
very cool. So let's talk about the property, about how you found it, who's your realtor. So you're here local. You've got all the infrastructure around. So tell us a little bit about that.
So we joined in January. We pretty much hit the ground running with the education.
Wait, January of this year?
January of this year.
And you're already in a deal? Mm-hmm. Hey, everybody do this. There you go. Good job.
It's already rented.
It's already rented. Yeah, we're
making money.
we're making money and we're moving on to like our next deal. So this one was it wasn't really an email blast. It started as an email blast from Moon Kim. He's one of the Lifestyles realtors, and we got the blast. And at this point, I had just kind of passed the practice stage, which I was asking for information on every single email blast, every single one of them. And
Real quick, I got to stop you for a second because the new people have no clue what you're talking about.
Yeah.
When you come to my seminar, I'm going to talk about opportunities. Wouldn't it be cool if you could be sitting there in your underwear at home and somebody would send you out a deal and say, this is 25 grand out of pocket, you make 30 grand on it, make $400 a month. Who'd like to get those? And that's what they did. They get all these emails and all these deals, and she's running the numbers on them all. Which one's right for me and my family? That's what she's talking about.
Yeah.
I'll talk about that at the seminar.
So we got this blast, and I got the information back, and I was like, I don't really like this one. So I emailed back, okay, I'm going to pass. Well, he emailed me, well, what are you looking for? And, like, what do you think about this other deal? So he sent me this one. This is in Liberty. It's about an hour from our house, but not too bad. I was able to drive up there. It's actually nice drive.
Is Liberty near Houston for people to get a reference?
Yeah,
It's about an hour outside of Houston.
an hour outside. It's actually a nice drive. It's out in the country a little bit.
Okay.
So it was a really nice house. It wasn't well taken care of. So pretty much exactly what they teach you at the two-day seminar.
It's like dating a girl that was a little bit ugly.
She was a lot ugly.
Okay. She said it, not me.
She had a pink bathtub, like Pepto-Bismol pink.
That's groovy.
That's hot.
It was not pretty.
Okay.
The outside looked great though, but yeah,
Yeah, the outside actually doesn't look bad at all.
outside didn't look bad. It was nice.
But the black roof looks really nice on there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does look good.
So they did not take care of it. They left a whole bunch of junk, which, side note, I did a garage sale and made over $800 selling all their junk.
Look at that.
Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, they left a whole bunch of just trash everywhere.
So what was the size of the rehab? How much?
70? We finished with, it was about 75 in the end. We put a little bit extra than we originally planned. So we ran into some unforeseen issues. We had some contingencies built into our scope of work, which David will teach you about. But,
Now, I got a big question, because the last guy, I will not do what Dave said. How much work did Amanda and Doug do on this property?
well, I'm pretty sure there's a picture in there because I had a panic moment over a miscommunication, and I might have went and got a crowbar and a hammer and tore up some floors.
Okay. Was that therapeutic?
It was.
Okay.
And then all my guys realized real quick that I was serious, and they showed up and like handled it. It was above and beyond. It was really great.
Yeah, you don't want a woman with a crowbar. It's not good. Okay.
Nope. He even showed up. It was like, you're buying tools? What? Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So a little bit more. So we're seeing some of the pink show up.
Yeah, so there's a pink sink, pink bathtub. It was horrible. This is the after. This is actually the master bathroom. It turned out really, really nice in the end.
And you use the comps to help guide your rehab and what kind of products?
Yeah, comps in this area were a little difficult because it's a really older neighborhood and there's not really a whole lot new being built. So I tried to stick very closely to the Lifestyles model, like with the same floors. We actually used agreeable gray, which you'll learn when you do the two-day.
That's a pretty good color scheme.
It's a pretty good color scheme. I was a little nervous about it because the paint card looked yellow, but the walls look great. But yeah, flooring, tile, we stuck pretty basic.
Speaking about flooring, let's see.
So yeah,
Lack thereof.
I'm tearing up the flooring. So this was an unforeseen issue.
I'm not telling any more jokes.
Yeah, we knew there was a minor foundation problem.
Okay.
This is actually the master bedroom, and the floor, right where I'm standing, had kind of dipped and was caving in. And our contractors took off the surface flooring, which was tile when we bought it, and left the subfloor, which was pretty weak, actually. But my foundation guys showed up, and here I go to go check on everybody because I'm out there like 2 or 3 times a week or more, and got to keep them in line. And I get to the house, and nobody is working. And I'm like, what is happening? It's my foundation guy's first day here, and nobody is working. So I call them up, and they're like, well, there's still floors in the house, so we can't do anything. So I go in there, and I'm like, oh, my God, all the subfloors, really, you guys? And they're like, well, we don't want to charge you. Andrew GC's charging you, so it's a whole thing. So, yeah. I bought tools. I'm tearing up the floor. I called my GC. I called him. Within about 2 hours, the whole entire army showed up, like 10 people, and they had the floors ripped out. They worked till about 9 o'clock that night to get the rest of the floors tore out so my foundation guys could start the next morning.
And what did we learn? Don't piss off Amanda.
I will buy tools.
Be proactive. Be proactive. So awesome. So here's your pink tub.
There's the pink tub. This is the bathroom
it looks a little
finish.
different.
Really, really nice. They actually refinished the tub because that's a cast iron tub. So, and the surround was in good shape. So we were able to get it refinished. And
Who agrees that looks 1,000% better when she was done? Best product, best price. That's the model Dell taught us, and you'll hear your mentor like Doug saying that all the time.
Yep, very much. All right, so let's go over the numbers. So the after repair value was almost $270, purchase price $125. Anytime you see more than $100,000 spread between the purchase price and the appraised value, you got a good deal going on, unless the rehab is crazy. Rehab about $70K, other costs 19,000, that's a little bit higher than we normally see. So that depends on your lender, but again, that's 2 closings. Those are lender and title fees for 2 closings.
Yeah, most of that was in our refi closing. Our hard money closing was actually less than 5,000. We got money back for it because our earnest money cost it more than the closing cost. But the interest rates have kind of been wonky lately, so most of that is in our refi closing.
Right. So that leaves you with an equity capture of almost $55,000, cash out of pocket, $26,000. That's about average. Somewhere in the Houston market, it's somewhere between $25,000 and $35,000 out of pocket. The rent, a little over $2,000. Cash flow, $310 a month. Cash on cash return, 14%. Return on equity capture, 204%.
Yeah.
First property, guys.
Wait.
This is your first property.
This is the problem when I get the engineers together from NASA, and
That was my excited voice.
that wasn't exciting. Dude, I told you guys to make 100% return. These guys made 200%.
Yeah.
That's peeing your pants exciting. Who agrees? Give him a hand. I mean, that's huge.
And I just like saying it over again. This is your first property.
This is our first property. And y'all, he was skeptical about the sign in the yard, okay? The day one, we signed the papers, the house is my house. I had a sign already made, like I made it myself. I put it in the yard that day with little paper flyers, because I taped a folder so people could take one, and had flyers in there. And he's like, nobody's going to take a flyer. They're going to find it on Zillow. I had so much interest. I had to refill those flyers like every couple of days. I had so much interest in this house. I was able to get $225 over market rent from what we expected.
Wow.
And we had people fighting over it,
Yeah.
and it was rented 3 weeks before rehab
I
was
want
complete.
everybody who's come my summer this weekend to remember this, because I say every summer, 95% of rentals happen by just putting a sign in the yard, and no one believes me. My son didn't believe me. And isn't that where they come from? There's like everybody calls.
I literally had the lease signed 3 weeks before rehab was done.
Who likes that? So you have first month's rent, deposit, everything before you're even done, so you don't have to even make a payment that way.
Yeah.
So
Awesome, man. You guys are good students.
I listen.
you're going to be mentors here soon. So expand on that. How did it go from $1,800 a month to $2,000? Did somebody get in a bidding war and say, hey, I'll pay you $100 more?
No, we just had so much interest, and then we started looking around. So when we first ran our quest, it was looking at like $1,800 was about the average rent. Well, then we started really looking some more as we were getting deeper into the rehab, and there were some other ones on the market that were like 21 and 22, and they weren't as nice. Like, they weren't as updated. They didn't have new appliances. One of them had a washing machine outside in the garage. Like, what kind of woman is going to go wash their clothes in the garage? Sorry, it's not going to happen. So I was like, you know what? I think we can probably try and put it up for.
You know, you just upset everybody watching from Tennessee.
Sorry, Tennessee. I'm not washing clothes there. Yeah, so I was like, let's post it for 2,000 and see what happens. And there we go. And then they have a pet, so.
I think that's a testament to what the competition was and how you killed the rehab. You know, the rehab looks fantastic.
Beautiful. Yeah.
From the curb appeal, you drive up on that thing, it's a class act. So, you know, people are going to pay for that.
Oh yeah, the porch swing was a like major hit. Every single person was like, I want the house with the porch swing. And it was there before, but I refinished it,
You did?
re-braced it. Yeah, I refinished it. It was my project. No, it was my project. I was going to keep it, but, you know, it was a big hit.
I thought your husband was a
And I
rehab
painted it.
project.
I mean, you know.
A fixer-upper.
So I
She
want to
can
ask you.
multitask.
I want to ask you both a question, because, you know, you were a little bit skeptical when you first came, like, is he going to start this and quit a week later? I understand that, Amanda. There's new people coming to my seminar this weekend, first time, maybe they're here tonight. What advice would you give the new people about this whole lifestyles thing?
Like, actually give it a shot. Like, it's real, it works. You have to be open-minded. You need to have some capital to be able to put down and front some money.
Yeah, you need at least 30 grand. Remember I told you that? It's not a
Yeah.
get-rich-quick thing.
Make sure you really, like, ask all the questions. Don't be shy. Ask your lender, understand what they're telling you, understand the draw process, understand what all the little fees are, because there's a million different things. And you learn some of it in the 2-day, and you learn others online. They have all the education, which I was like, insane about doing all the education before we bought a property, but I'm not shy, so I just ask all the questions.
Good.
So we built a very large, competent team.
Yeah.
We used every resource available. We found other members, our mentor, David.
Doug.
Yeah, they even reached out to me, and I'm not even their mentor.
Yeah.
But he answered, and he quickly
and our
at that.
friends and
The realtors have been extremely helpful and
Yes.
extremely knowledgeable. Our contractors, our GCs, extremely knowledgeable. Well, you
yeah,
build your team.
I interviewed about 10 different GCs before we picked.
Yeah. Spend time picking out who you want to work with. It's going to make a difference. So how's your perspective changed now going forward?
She's a shark in the water. And
So, I mean, this has really given us the opportunity for me especially to really step out of nursing. Like that's what we wanted. And so I've been able to do that. I'm the boots on the ground. I manage this. We're using me as kind of the real estate professional, which is a tax break. So you'll kind of learn a little bit about that later. But, you know, I'm the manager. I'm the creative. I'm the people person. He looks over all the numbers and does all that behind the scenes.
You've totally stepped away from nursing.
Totally stepped away from nursing.
How's that?
Now, he's your sugar mama, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he just tells me if it's going to be a good deal, and then he lets me swipe the card. We have a business card now, so.
Very sweet, very sweet. Very cool. So what, in the short term and long term, what's going on with you guys?
So we're actually selling our personal home right now so that we can cash in on the equity and then like probably triple invest. We're looking at least 1 to 2 more single families and then 1 passive deal before the end of the year. And yeah, we're downgrading personally so that we can really build.
no,
faster.
no, that's not true. We are not downgrading.
We are upgrading
Okay, Amanda-
on land.
Amanda,
we are
don't listen to him.
downgrading on
Yeah.
square footage.
You can go smaller so you can grow faster. Who likes that idea?
Yeah.
Love that idea.
So we've actually adopted the lifestyles model
Yeah.
to build our personal home.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we're supposed to close next week, and that's going to.
Is it going to be a 322?
It is.
One story?
1 story.
Good.
Nice.
That is the model. Okay.
Very cool. So you talked about your team. Who's on your team? Who you want
We
to give
had
a
a
shout
really
out?
big team. Doug and Sorrel were both really important mentors. We were with Sorrel a lot during the road trips and got to talk to him and learn from him through that. Doug's been our mentor here and, you know, being able to call you and have you evaluate our scope.
Did I pick up?
You did. And he emailed me back. Yeah, he helped us evaluate our scope and evaluate our quest and know that it was on point. Just gave us that extra confidence boost that we needed, right, to make sure that we were on the right track. Moon Kim was our realtor that found this deal, but we've also used Jennifer McCormick, who's here quite a bit. She's helping us with our current deal.
And we use Jennifer Peters as well.
Yep.
They
With
helped
all
talk
the-
us out of some bad deals.
Yeah.
They helped educate us enough to steer us away from the bad ones. So that's just as important.
And that's important. One of the best things of having mentors and having a team like that, the deals you walk away from, you actually make the most money. You just don't realize it because you didn't do a bad deal.
Yeah.
Which go backwards. Because rule number 1 we teach is never lose money. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we found a couple on the MLS
And you-
that we thought were going to be good, and they really kind of were like,
And then you formed a team of vendors.
Vendors. So Amerispec Inspection Services, JR was here earlier.
He laughed. That's funny.
Really, really great. I have never received such a detailed inspection report. Our most recent one was 73 pages with pictures and details, and we sent that back for price negotiation and was like, hey, y'all,
Cool.
fix this stuff
Saved us $50,000.
right off
Wow.
the bat.
We're able to negotiate purchase
So the
price.
guy from the Navy's okay, is what you're saying.
He's okay. He did a really good job, and he spent quite a bit of time, like personally with me, immediately after the inspection to go over like a summary, so we knew immediately. Property Guardians has been our GC. I'm using them again. They are absolutely amazing. Went above and beyond multiple times to help us overcome challenges. We ran into some challenges. Spearhead Insurance Group, they have, we use Dorothy there. She has been amazing. She has really fought for us to get us the best prices for insurance, which we all know is really hard. And then Guatex Foundation Solutions, they did a good job too. We had a lot of unforeseen foundation issues, and so they really cut us a great price and went above and beyond to make sure that we were well taken care of.
Hey, you know what? I noticed Doug's been smiling all night.
He says this is my project. So he's.
I started this. It's been her project,
She took it over now.
and she took it over.
And I always sit there and
She's done an
say,
excellent
you know,
job.
most of the time, the people that actually do most of this is the stay-at-home mommy. Because she has the time and they're organized unlike him. You know what I mean? They get stuff done.
They can multitask.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right.
All right. Let's give it-
Any questions for this rock star team up here?
We're good?
Have you had any offers on the house yet?
The question is, have you had any offers on? They only hold it a little bit of
Every
time.
person we've talked to,
Oh, they want to buy it now?
the renter has already offered to buy it. The appraiser offered
Oh,
to buy
wow.
it.
Yeah.
Damn, you are doing pretty good.
Multiple offers.
I'm like, no, we're going to let the equity grow just a little bit before we sell it.
Yeah, smart.
Kind of like where we're at right now.
It's kind of addicting, isn't it?
Yeah.
You guys are like peeing your pants exciting. I love seeing that. Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what makes my days when I get the message? Dave, we're in contract. Dave, we're in. That's what's cool to me. I love hearing that. All right, let's give these folks a hand. Appreciate it. Oh, wait.
Wait,
we got a question online from Renee.
One online, yeah. How many properties did you evaluate until you finally made this purchase?
Oh my God, probably like 100 of them. No kidding.
Okay, so when you hear that, that's their situation. They're very type B analytical. I have some people join, and within a week, they're in the first property. Then I have other people, it takes them 3 months. Everybody's different. You go at your rate.
So we wanted to make sure that we really understood the numbers and the math and how it worked and the rehab process. And one of the things that you guys teach is for us to have your team like built and ready, because when you buy the property, that's not the time to start interviewing people, because
Right.
then you're going to delay your rehab and it takes longer. And we already had unforeseen issues. It took 9 weeks, which thankfully was only 1 week later, but we still hit our deadlines for our renters to move in. But it was, I can't imagine if we had started looking after we made an offer. Like, I tell you, I interviewed about 10 different GCs because, you know, they're all different. And
But this is powerful because, like, this is the most meticulous person, and it doesn't matter if you're that super scared, meticulous person or somebody who just goes right away. We have a very eclectic group here at Lifestyles, and we take people of all different personalities, all different styles, and everyone can do this. That's the powerful thing.
So I got to ask you. So you talked to 10 different GCs. So what about Property Guardians made you decide to go with them?
So there was a lot. Being a woman trying to do this, that I found that a lot of the contractors, especially like the vendors that actually like do work, right? They work with tools. They think that women don't know anything, and I don't. But I'm going to ask all the questions, and so if you act like you're irritated or you don't have time for me, or if you ask to talk to my husband, you immediately got a no, and you're not hired. We're moving on.
I agree. You're in charge. Yeah.
And then I kind of learned some of the questions to ask, and that some of them will tell you the same thing. They all say the same thing. So how am I going to differentiate? So I started asking stupid questions that I already knew the answers to, just to see what they would say. So Property Guardians, they weren't shy about telling me, no, that's not a good idea. I would recommend this other way to handle this problem. And no, I can't use their tools. And yes, they are all insured. And there were just things that, like, the way they talked to me, I felt more comfortable. I felt like they knew what they were talking about. And they were ready to start. They had the experience, and they could start when we needed them.
And they took the time to educate us.
Yes.
There,
Yes.
there were a lot of things that we thought we knew, and we learned very quickly that we did not.
But it wasn't just a, no, we can't do that. It was a, this is why, this other way is better.
Awesome.
Very good.
Well, let's give them a hand. Thank you so much for sharing.